Everybody loves to be more wealthy, but also there's kind of competing goals. There's a goal to have a good, comfortable lifestyle. There's a goal to be safe as well. Like, what do I want to feel comfortable? And what do I want to continue to have as my legacy play or my wealth maximizing play?
Understanding concentration risk. This happens when too much of your wealth is tied up in one company or one sector, often without you even realizing it. And as you get closer and closer to retirement, this can quietly become one of the biggest threats to your long term financial security. For listeners who may not be familiar with what the term concentration risk is, what is it and how does it happen so easily, almost without people noticing?
Yeah, absolutely. So concentration risk, just simply defined, or concentration is when you have a large percentage of your wealth in a single holding, position, company. And usually, Casey, that happens in stocks like Tesla, Nvidia, Palantir. These are kind of the ones we're seeing lately, but that depends when and where. But in a single stock, you could have worked for the company. Sometimes that's the way it goes as well. You got company stock. It could be in real estate. It could be somebody who invests in properties. It could be multiple properties or a few tightly held properties. So it could be even a single sector, specific sector, or it could be a small business. Those are typically the ways that people have concentration in their portfolio.
Which kind of brings us to why this risk grows even more serious as retirement draws closer for people. So, can you talk to us about why concentration risk looks completely different for somebody over 55 compared to maybe somebody who's only in their 30s or 40s?
Perfect. Yeah, that's a great question. And concentration is a double-edged sword. The reason we have so many people that we work with who are experiencing that risk is because it is a major way to drive wealth creation. If you put a lot of your eggs in one basket and watch that basket closely, that's the theory behind concentration risk. And it works really nicely when you don't have to use that asset to provide for your life. Especially when you're working another job, you have some other secured source of income. But once you get to retirement, the volatility, the potential fluctuation of that asset can become a lot more severe and can have much worse consequences than when you could sort of, during your working years, just stick your head in the sand. I'm working with somebody right now who was able to hold a position for 25 years in a highly volatile tech stock, and they're reaping the reward of that now. But when they were working, it wasn't that big of a deal. And now we're having the conversation about, you know what, we might need to reduce this because I can't stomach that
Yeah.
and I need it for income. Right?
Yeah.
So
Well, once you're in that pre retirement window, the market doesn't care that you have a retirement date in mind. And a major decline can literally push your date back by years. Yet, even knowing that, people still hold on to a single stock longer than they should, which kind of brings us to the emotional side of it. I want to talk about the psychology behind it. What are the emotional biases that make people stay overly invested in one stock, even when it's clearly risky?
a couple of them. The emotion, like sometimes people just get tied to something. It's like an endowment bias, but you get connected to something. When you work there for 25 years, you can just learn to love something. And sometimes, a lot of times, you had success as well. So it sort of builds up a built-in layer of like cognitive bias as well. So there's the emotional tie. And it's just so hard to part with that asset, especially when it's been so successful. That's
Mhm.
the other side of it. Then here's something I've encountered recently, anchoring. I'm here now, but I remember we were there and we're going to get back there and then we're going to make a decision about it. Like, that's another potential risk that you might face with a concentrate.
I mean, it's incredible how our brains convince us that something is safe just because it's familiar. So, talk to us more about it. Tell us your thoughts.
Yeah, I think the way that I try to deal with this, and you actually see business owners do this a lot. You could sell all the position, kind of reduce the risk by diversifying, right? Instead of having all your eggs in one basket. The challenge with that though is this an emotional piece. Are we ready to sell that position? Are we ready to part ways with it? Sometimes there's other ways that you can deal with it as you kind of work through that process of de-risking into retirement. One thing you could do is sort of working around the position. That's another thing that people do. They say, you know what, I like this position. I'm not ready to part ways with it yet, but I understand that if it's just this, I might be cooked if it goes against me. People don't want to accept that, but there's something in the back of their minds that like it might not go the way I think it goes. And if it
Mhm.
does, if I build something next to it, around it, a moat around my castle, that's the moat around the castle play. So there's ways that you can navigate. Some people, Casey, taxes. They don't want to sell it because I don't want to pay the big tax hit if I sell a huge amount of assets, right? I get that. I wouldn't want to do that either. But what I heard younger in my career, and I still think it holds true, is you don't let the tax tail wag the dog.
So I'm curious, JB, when you have a client sit down in front of you in your office and you ask them if that one stock that you're so emotionally invested in, you're so attached to, dropped 50% tomorrow, what would that do to your retirement date? I'm curious how those conversations go with your clients.
Right. I think first, like, if we can separate, like, will that happen and if that happened, right? Because a lot of people wouldn't even accept that as a possibility. So we sort of have to isolate that if it did, because it can. And if it did, let's have that conversation. Let's take a look at what kind of income you could produce. Let's take a look at what your total assets would be at that moment. Would you still be comfortable to hold the position if we were here instead of here? And I'm really just trying to help people to get to a place that's reasonable. The other thing too is helping people to define what winning for them is and what success for them is, because it's not always just getting the highest level of wealth. Everybody loves to be more wealthy, but also there's kind of competing goals. Like there's a goal to have a good, comfortable lifestyle. There's a goal to be safe as well. And like we all have these competing goals. Helping people to define the importance of these competing goals. Because when you have a concentrated position like that, that's really going for wealth maximization. But when you get down to the brass tacks, it's not actually what's most important to those people. So helping people to kind of navigate these different buckets of goals, that would be my approach to this, and helping them to define, what do I want to feel safe? What do I want to feel comfortable? And what do I want to continue to kind of have as my legacy play or my wealth maximizing play? And just trying to get to that more balanced approach to a retirement income plan.
And I think it just emphasizes the importance of incorporating the help of a professional on this journey to walk alongside you, to advise you, right?
100%, Casey. I mean, like in this case, more than ever, because how can you trust yourself? I hate to say it this way, but like without any second opinion,
Right.
to know that you're not kind of subject to emotional or mental bias, and we all are, even including an advisor, but somebody with an outside perspective to help you really define what it is you want, to set up a plan that's going to fit with that, and to help you navigate all the nuance and the planning and the taxes and the emotions to get to a place that actually makes sense for what you ultimately want with your life.
Yeah, it's not a road really that you want to walk alone, even if you think that you do. So, if somebody has questions, JB, if they want to get in touch with you, what should they do to set up some time to sit down and start talking through this with you?
The retirementkey.com, I think, is the first place that I would go. Leave the links in the bio, so you can find it there. At the end, I believe, too, schedule a time, get with us, help us to understand you, and help us to help you navigate the journey of a concentrated position.
Yep, that's theretirementkey.com to learn more, find resources, and schedule a complimentary consultation with JB or anybody on the financial services team. Thanks so much for joining us for today's episode of The Retirement Key. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel or subscribe wherever you get your favorite podcasts so you never miss an episode. And we will see you next time. Thanks so much, JB.